So what's the new album called and what's it all about?
Well, the EP is called S.D.M.O, which stands for the stuff that dreams are made of, and that's just it's one of the tracks which it's the name of one of the tracks which we both sort of quite liked the name, and sort of, I mean, it doesn't really mean a great deal in terms of the whole sort of project, but we both sort of liked the name. We both thought it kind of worked, so that's the name of it, and it's just sort of, you know, a bit of a collaboration between me and Thomas. Obviously, I mean, he's been making music for quite a long time. We've been talking about doing the collaboration for you know, pushing 2 years probably now, so, you know, we finally just sort of got a bunch of the songs together, and you know, thought it'd be good to make.
Yeah, can you talk us through the tracks and inspirations?
Yeah, well, I mean, we sort of tried to go for something a little bit different with the whole sort of feel of the EP, because for me, the sort of, it's a hip hop art. It is labelled as a hip hop sort of EP, but for me, there's sort of a new sort of breed of hip hop artists sort of coming through at the moment, a new sort of generation and a different style within hip hop. So we sort of more of an electronic sort of style, and we tried to sort of infiltrate that into the EP. So inspirations for me, in general, sort of general music sort of terms, obviously we're looking at, you know, Jay-Z, and the people sort of got me into hip hop, Eminem and 50 and Tupac and all them. But for the actual, more specifically for the album itself, I listen to a lot of sort of A$AP Rocky, Schoolboy Q, Big Sean, sort of the new sort of style of rapper that's sort of coming through at the moment, and we tried to sort of get that into the feel. And obviously, I mean, I'm just speaking for myself, but Thomas listened to a lot of sort of Diplo and that sort of influence, tried to get that in there. So the tracks themselves vary really. I mean, The Statement is a track that we had for about 18 months really. I mean, I remember Thomas making it, you know, probably about 18 months ago, playing it all the time in the house, and then eventually just sort of say, you know, do you want to use this? And I said, yeah. And we actually recorded it about a year ago, just at the house, just at home on the computer. And it wasn't a brilliant recording, but we both kind of liked the track as sort of an opening to the EP. It's quite a nice sort of opening track. It's quite, you know, meaningful. The statement is quite brash, and so we both sort of quite like that as an opening. So we threw that in, and then S.D.M.O. That's where I try to sort of infiltrate a new sort of flow, because usually I'm more of I try and sort of make the verse flow, as in I try and use the subject matter and sort of keep it flowing throughout the whole verse. Whereas this new sort of style that's coming, it's very sort of Tiger, Lil Wayne, sort of the YMCMB whole thing. It's like just sort of statements with punchline, one statement with a punchline, and it doesn't really flow, it doesn't mean anything, but each statement by itself sort of means something by itself. So I try to implement that into that. But the whole thing doesn't really mean anything, it's just sort of me having fun, trying to, you know, think of funny punchlines and stuff. And then there's a couple more like that, Grinning, and Vincent Rose Swag as well, they're quite similar. But then there's a couple sort of I tried to talk sort of from experience, sort of real life kind of thing, if you like. It's like Gangster, which is quite, I suppose, a bit of a conscientious track, if you want to call it that. It's like, because I remember Thomas made me the track, and it's got the sample at the start, the Gangster, from Game to the Greek. And I thought at first I was just going to do a normal sort of track about being a gangster, but I thought I can't pull that off at all. No one's going to believe that. I just sound like an idiot, because I've done it before and people just sort of laugh. So I just thought, well, I'll go for a different take. And I talked about sort of, you know, why do you want to be a gangster? That's sort of the opposite angle, looking at it from, you know, a perspective of sort of the pitfalls of that sort of lifestyle, if you want. So that's quite a conscientious track, and with a little breakdown at the end, which is quite nice. So we've done this track. Tom's tried to sort of mix it up a little bit on the instrumentals, go for some sort of different things here and there. And then Dreaming's a sort of track about sort of dreams. I sort of wanted to be a footballer for a long time, so I thought I'd do that with the track and throw that in there, and sort of slowly bring it on to, you know, rapping and that. So that's that. And then the last track, which is my favourite, Magic Burr, the sort of title artist track. That's sort of about trying to balance sort of doing a full-time degree, with trying to do some rapping and that on the side. So that's probably my favourite one. But so yeah, it's, you know, the whole feel of the album's quite electronic, and you know, there's some good messages in there, but there's also a bit of messing about and some funny moments really. So I tried to mix it up a bit and, you know, go for some different styles really.
So what's your next step with the album?
Not sure really. I think we're gonna, you know, try and look at getting it out to a few sort of local stations. I think that'd be a good idea. And then also BBC have got the Introducing, which is a good platform. So we'll probably try and look at getting it on there. Maybe get it to a few labels. Not sure at the moment really. We're just sort of putting it out there, trying to see what the reaction is to it, and then I think seeing if it's positive reaction, try and maybe take it a bit further. Maybe try and do some live shows as well to get a bit of promotion done.
Good. So where can people actually hear the music now?
Well, at the moment it's only on SoundCloud. It's soundcloud.com/Magic Burr, which is BURR. That's the only place where people can actually listen to it at the moment, and all the tracks are on there, available to download for free. We're looking at getting them on YouTube, but as of yet that hasn't happened. But yeah, SoundCloud is the only place you can listen to it at the moment, or if you want a live performance, I give a live performance.
And what did each of you do in respect of the album?
What, in terms of putting it together?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I say, we've had some of the tracks for like 18 months, like a year. I mean, obviously when we were both at uni, like I didn't see Thomas particularly very much like throughout the year, so we used to just sort of every time we sort of made a track, he'd send it over, just Facebook, send it over, say, you know, I've made a new beat, see what you can do with this. And but for a long time, I mean, the first time, I'm going to be honest, first time I listened to a few, and I just thought, I'm not doing anything with that. But they sort of grew on me a lot, and it's just a little bit different, the style's a bit different. And but I couldn't write anything for a long time. I just had a big sort of writer's block for a long time, so I wasn't able to write anything. And so it took quite a long time. I mean, we always had the idea of doing an EP, right from like last year when we made a couple of tracks together, but I just couldn't think of anything to say. So, but eventually, I think it only sort of happened when we got back, because we had 8 or 9 tracks. There's a couple that we've left out, which I you know, wasn't keen on. I couldn't work with them very well. But it probably sound better as just an instrumental by itself. But I got back for the summer, and then I just sort of didn't really have anything to do. So that's when I really started just put my head down and writing. But I did write some for them before, but I never write anything down. I always write in my head, and if I kept forgetting what I'd written, and that's sort of a test for me. I think if it's sort of good or not. If I remember it, then I think it's good. If I forget it, then it's not so good. So that took a little while, because I hadn't written anything for a while, so I was a bit rusty. But eventually it came together. But we didn't actually sort of do the tracks together with the music with me on top. I mean, Thomas hadn't heard it like until like 2 days, I think, before we did the recording. So, you know, it was a bit risky really. You know, if it worked or not, we had to make a few tweaks sort of to go with the lyrics following, because otherwise it just sort of sounded like me doing a rap over pre-prepared thing. It sounded a bit more professional if we do it sort of to the lyrics, take a few bits out, add a few effects and stuff like that. And we probably should have done that before, but we only did that like a couple of days before for the actual recording. So we didn't really have that much sort of collaboration, I suppose, during the whole thing. But you know, that's just the way it worked, really.
Yeah, and the recording went well. The actual
yeah, the recording was smooth. I mean, I did it all barring about 2, I think, in one take. So yeah, that was good, and mixing was just easy, really smooth as you like. We already had the tracks there. Obviously, we'd gone through them a couple of days before, so we knew what we wanted, and just put the track down, and that was it, really.
Okay, brilliant. Cheers.